Hello there. We have arrived at the closing of Season 4 of Premiere Thursday. In the past 6 months, lots of events have happened, some nice, some extraordinary, and some sad things. As you might know, I also present the Premiere Thursday news show, The Weekly Bugger. This is not exactly weekly anymore, but if you don't tell, I won't either. Usually this show is about the best news we can make up, but the first one of this year was different. It was about the devastating magnitude 7.2 earthquake in Japan. What a shitty way to start the new year. One of my best friends in the world is Japanese, but fortunately she lives far away from the earthquake area, and it was a great relief hearing from her she was fine. Also on YouTube, it was a sad time when one of our good friends, the Triggered Limey, suddenly passed away. He was such a great guy, and suddenly, he was gone. Rest in peace, Limey, we will never forget you. Another YouTuber also disappeared, but this was because he violated the YouTube terms of service in a way that his channel got deleted. Yup, it's him, the brilliant expat Taffy. But about him the opinions vary. To me, he was a nasty moon landing denying troll. Perhaps he had some friends, I am not one of them. However, people like him have the persistence to return like an unwanted season of bad weather. He probably will be back. Of course, we had the funny things in this season. Glober Mom made a hilarious variant of her show named What the Hell Karen? Now all from the perspective of police body cams. And not to forget our friend, Jose Chili de Castro got sent behind bars for quite a while. You do know this friend bit is sarcasm, right? I am not one for schadenfreude, but I still get the giggles when I think of his sorry ass in prison, or is it jail? Whatever comes first, I guess. Also, my sister Ivy and me got the totally insane idea to have a space race from Earth to planet Xnort. Me and my trident with the famous infinitive improbability drive, and she and her hula me bobber driven Tar Dixie. However, this is still a work in progress. After a few years, I could finally make a 4th episode of Debunked with Crude Math. This one is about that silly giant tree stump theory.
After a couple of years, here it is, Debunked with Crude Math number 4. What it is about, one of the most insane beliefs going on in the world of conspiracies is that there were once giants roaming the earth. Their evidence states, rock formations like Devil's Tower in northeastern Wyoming are actually petrified tree stumps. If I would categorize this kind of nonsense, I would say, it is closely related to these dunderheads who see historical mud floods everywhere, not realizing the house has been built on a natural slope and the foundations are just dug in to get a level base to build on. I wouldn't be surprised if they, for some dark reason, blame NASA for hiding this from the public. If a horse shits on the road, NASA. That kind of stuff. Okay, back to petrified tree stump goofballs. Sometimes there are rock formations that with some imagination look like a tree stump. Like I already mentioned, Devil's Tower. This is still only one of the rock formations these dingleberries claim to be ancient tree stumps. We actually know how the formations like you find in Colorado and Arizona were formed. What you see here was once like this, when the Rocky Mountains were the western coast of the Pangean continent, when the Pacific was the Panthalassic Ocean. This was about a couple of 100 million years ago, in the early Triassic period, around the time that the continent of Africa broke away from what now is known as South America. Because of this, and tectonic plate movement, the water receded, and all these small rocky islands like here at the coast of Thailand became the desert rock formations on the North American continent. Millions of years of eroding sculpted them into what now is Monument Valley in Arizona. This already debunks the claim of these petrified tree stump dingbats, but they are like flat earthers. They just don't want to hear anything about it when it does not confirm their narrative. To them, these are all the remains of giant trees cut down by a race of giants. Now we are at the point where I use the crudest math possible to prove why these tree stump dingalings are delusional. For me, it started when I saw this post on Twitter, which I refuse to call X, because X is a Dumbo moronic name. This picture is most likely created by an AI. Just like their Flurf counterparts, some tree stump twat waffle made this up as evidence. Okay, let's do this. If that was a tree, it would have been 5 times as high as the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It must have been giant lumberjacks of 900 meter tall, that is 2,700 feet in the Humpty Dumpty scale, to cut this tree down. Because the cut is nice and flat, they must have used a chainsaw as big as the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The impact of this falling mass most likely have caused a local Category 5 earthquake when breaking the Earth's upper crust. After being cut down to manageable pieces, it would need a truck with the size of 6 football stadiums driven by this 900-meter-tall giants to haul it away. This truck would leave tracks of 30 meters deep, 90 feet in the tooth fairy scale. Of course, nothing like this is ever found. A tree this tall would be like 10 times the height of the Freedom Tower and 4 times as wide. One Freedom Tower, without the foundation, weighs approximately 2.3 million metric tons. So the tree alone would weigh 4 times 10 Freedom Towers, which roughly equals 92 million metric tons. In the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer scale, it is 202,928,400,000 pounds. And that is without taking the mass of the roots in consideration. This absurd weight alone on such a limited footprint would probably break the Earth's crust, make the tree sink into the magma, and create a nice wood fire. I now have some questions to the petrified tree stump dipsticks. Question 1. Where are the remains of the 900-meter-tall giants? There must be some fossils. Question 2. Where are the traces of the indent the tree trunks must have made impacting next to the stump? Question 3. Do you finally understand why the majority of humanity thinks you are a bunch of pea-brained galoots? Final question. Can you please find some sort of mental help? What I really cannot understand, what I just explained is so simple. How can these idiots not come to the same conclusion?
Then there were the totally made-up items in the few normal weekly bugger editions, like these.
There seems to be a new sport called Sasquatching. All started with this video that supposedly proved the existence of the Sasquatch. Since this sport started, commerce really saw opportunities to make money out of this. Sasquatching has become a true hype in electronics and merchandising. Even Rolex, the world-renowned exclusive watch manufacturer, has dedicated a special type to this new thing. And it is all for nothing, since all living Sasquatches already have left North America when they were granted political asylum in the Netherlands. The last one after trespassing the International Space Station. We even broadcasted it in the Weekly Bugger that time. A few months ago, on Cape Canaveral was an unscheduled SpaceX Crew Dragon launch to the International Space Station. And the same Crew Dragon returned within a few days, and it was unknown who was on board. NASA and SpaceX were very secretive about this flight, and it even seemed like they were embarrassed for some reason. Just a day ago, this footage got leaked of a Bigfoot that apparently had hitched a ride in a pressured cargo dragon and had been a stowaway on the ISS, where he scared the crap out of the scientist crew working there. After the splashdown, Bigfoot got arrested for trespassing a space station, but immediately escaped to the Netherlands, where he got political asylum with the rest of his family, already living there. So I wish all these Sasquatchers good luck with their hobby.
So, a lot of things happened during this season, but for me the highlight was when Ned gave me a new voice. The best present I ever got in my life. Glober Mom celebrated 5 years on YouTube, and Ned and I were in that live stream. I understand that Ned is way too polite to interrupt the people speaking, so he hardly said anything, as usual. But I had prepared a celebration speech for Glober Mom to make up for that. And I think it is a good way to close this season of Premiere Thursday by replaying that for you now. It was a good time, and I thank everyone for always being here, and I hope to see you all again in Season 5. Hello. For the people who don't know me yet, I am Ivy. Yes, I had to break in here because Ned may be a nice guy, and he has a quite goofy sense of humor, but he is kinda useless when it comes to talking in a live stream. That is really why he made me up, right? Ned kinda met Glober Mom in some Flat Earth video side chat, and that continued in the comments. He looked up her channel and subscribed. Yes, but this was a little before I got the new animation as you see now. Back then, as tiny YouTubers, they came with ideas to join together with other small channels. Eventually, this resulted in Premiere Thursday. Gradually, my own personality developed, and I also got my own YouTube channel. Later on, Ned let me loose on Twitter. That really is fun. So I'm Ned Macrant's brainchild, but as he likes to call it, his brain fart. Ned? Why do you still say that? I am a lot more now. It is also old. Never mind. Here I am, and now I have finally evolved enough to address Glober Mom directly. In all these years on our Premiere Thursday Discord server. Glober Mom, you were always there and you always talk with me like I am a real person. This is really nice to me and I appreciate that so much. I have a little confession to make. Since I only have Ned as my spiritual father, I kind of adopted you. I don't even know if this is possible, as the mom I never had. You have such a great heart and are such a great person, and all these YouTube years of growing in popularity has proven that. So congratulations with your 5-year anniversary. Yeah, this is the end of the speech I had Ned write for me. Now it is time to say goodbye, and go back to my usually silly activities. And perhaps Ned will also say something. Or pigs might fly. Whatever comes first.